Shalom, Akim. I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakakadash. Double honors the elders and apostles of GMS who teach and rule well, and say taste to all Akim in all four corners of earth who's pushing this truth, sincerity. Shalom, Akim. I want to get into this ghoul we see right here. This is Prince Charles and his wife. They're over there from England, and they came here. This is Tuesday they got here, and they just left today. I want to say today, or maybe they got touchdown Monday and they left today. But it stuck out to me because I tried to listen to his State of the Union when he addressed America, and that was through the Spirit because I had the TV on, and he was talking, and I had my phone playing. Was listening to some things on the phone, so I said, let me pause what's on my phone and let me tune into what this demon's getting ready to say, because I know he's going to say something, slip up, or just say something that's part of their plans. And that's one thing you got to remember. Whenever these demons come and talk, they're boasting, they're proud, they're sitting on their high horse, and they're going to let you know what they're going to do, whether you agree with it or not. It's just in the plans. Just like a side note, whenever you see these data centers meetings and these people get up in there and be hooting and hollering and protesting, it's too late. It's already in the making. They're already getting ready to make the data center, so you're getting ready to be poisoned already. But anywho, back to the story. So he was on there talking, and like I said, I hit the mute button on my phone. I paused it, and I was like, let me hear what he got to say real quick. And lo and behold, he came out and spoke something, a key word. I did a video about 2-3 months ago, speaking about what Trump was talking about, and what's on the table right now is that Monroe Doctrine, the Monroe Doctrine. And he broke down a little bit of pieces of it about how, we made a pact that we wouldn't come interfere in anything that was in the Americas. In America, we're not coming to interfere in anything that was in our countries or whatever we rule, as far as England. So when he was saying that, I was like, oh, okay. So now he's over here because Trump needs help. What's the underlying part of it? Well, here's a little bit. He talked about AI and quantum computing. Some of those things. Well, we bring out AI down there every week, showing you how AI is taking over your job force, how you won't have any jobs coming up soon. As far as most of your professional jobs that you went to college for, that everybody was growing up to be, that's about to be wiped out by AI. And he just talked and talked. He said he got up with some CEOs from major tech firms like Apple, Amazon, and Nvidia. And like I say, he mostly pinned on an AI and quantum computing, as well as that Monroe Doctrine that he threw in there, because, like I say, I think that they're getting ready to try to overturn those things, because America's weak right now, as well as they need help, man. Trump is calling on NATO. He's calling on these different all his little 2 and 3 letter groups to come help him, man, and ain't nobody coming to help him. Yeah, and we're talking about what's happening over in Iraq and Iran. We're seeing it on the news, man, even though they're not playing it all, but the internet is playing a little bit of it, But yeah, it was just I was just seeing this, and I was like, wow. And then, like I said, you see him and his wife. I did a little reading. Him and his wife don't even stay in the same house. They don't even stay in the same bedroom. She got her own house, and he got his own house. On the weekdays, they're together, but on the weekends, they're gone, Not even together like that, Anywho, this is Proverbs 24:1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them, man. And our people, they want to be a part of this cabinet. They want to be a part of that cabinet. They want to help the politics on the Republican side, Democrat side, and not knowing that they're all answering to the same person, man. It's no different. There's no difference, man. When they're finished playing in front of you people's face, they go and have meetings together, and they go out, hang out together, and break bread with each other, man. Talk about secrets, swap people out for this person, that person. This is what they do, man. Proverbs 24:2. For the heart studieth destruction, and the lips talketh of mischief. And like I say, the man was on the podium, and he was just spewing out different things. And the Lord puts a spirit on these demons that they gotta come out and they gotta tell their plans, man. They gotta let the people know what they're getting ready to do, you know. And once again, like I'm telling you, when they let you know what they're getting ready to do, 9 times out of 10, they're 2 or 3 steps ahead. They're already breaking down grounds or already got it halfway up. They're just letting you know what's gonna be there. And if you want to get down with it, you can, or if not, then you'll be a part of the destruction, you know. But yeah, these are those mischievous lips of yours, man. You know, you're spewing out lies, and you know, and we know that you came here for a reason, man, for wickedness, man. You know, these are the wicked we're speaking about, man. He over there with Donald Trump having a meeting, and Donald Trump is asking for more help for his wars and stuff, man, for the Benjamin and not a Jews war, man. You know, this is Psalm 64 and. I'm gonna go to 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privy. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. You know, so yeah, they do a good search on these type of things, man. So maybe England's over here right now because they know, you know, that America's in dire hurt and pain right now, man. You know. So now is the time to ease up on those Monroe doctrines that you had. Let me get a piece of that pie down in South America. This is what I'm assuming that this devil was coming over here to talk about, man. You know, because he wasn't coming over here to talk about any peace. And then once again, you know, usually the news announce, oh, King Charles is a week from coming here or whatever. This just happened out of nowhere. Who knew he was coming here? We knew that Trump every other day, or Slacky on Fridays, he'll go to the Congress or whoever and or the news and spew out something, and by Monday, you know, we'll check the news to see what happened or what he did over the weekend and stuff, you know. But this, once again, he just popped up out of nowhere. So, me myself, you know, they got this thing called the Monroe Doctrine. It's a pact that like I said, that England can't come over here to the Americas and interfere in anything, as well as America can't go over to England's lands and interfere in anything. But I don't know, man. Maybe it's time that this thing is coming to, you know, some type of head, because, you know, King Charles over here, and like I say, he was talking something. It was about something. So this is Matthew 12 and 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And right now we are in, you know, that's another thing that he was hollering about, is the 250th anniversary of America. 250th anniversary of America. You know, we're seeing the decay, the destruction of this place, you know, inside out. You know, a guy I watch on YouTube, he's speaking about how New York is being overran by different immigrant groups. You have an Elamite up there as mayor of New York, or is he Ishmael? No, I think he's an Elamite. Well, he's a heathen. I know that much. And he's running New York, and they're upset. They're bad about that. So we're basically seeing the unraveling of Babylon the Great right before our very eyes. And here is, you know, a so-called world leader, you know, who's come onto the soil to, maybe he's throwing salt in the wound, you know, because once again, Trump was asking for help for Iran, you know, and this guy's over here promoting something else. But once again, man, we all know that this place is wicked, and it's a beacon for wickedness, you know, and the wicked leaders of the world come here and chop it up with our wicked leader, and, you know, and go out and do wicked things, man, you know. But yeah, I just seen this, and like I said, I watched this little a hot second and got that Monroe Doctrine out of there, and that was enough for me, you know. And I said, let me go out. The next day I'll go to the news and check and see what else he said, and Google searching. And it wasn't too much other than, like I say, the AI that they're pushing for, and it's quantum computing, which the quantum computing we know leads to when they were doing those what are they doing? They're trying to talk to different things, man, with that quantum computing, man. You know, that's a video in itself, because, you know, they're trying to reach different things when they talk, just like with this CERN thing that they have out in the mountains in France, and it's connected from one part of the continent to another, supposedly, you know. So these demons are opening portals and gates and trying to talk to demons and stuff, man. So yeah, America is nothing more than a brewing place for wickedness, man. With that being said, I'm just edifying. Shalom, Maki.